Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our fish and wildlife program for the day. Today, we're going to be discussing the wren and its relationship with the beaver, or we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's the best ad lib intro I could come up with. Anywho,
Team second
uh,
one.
all right, yeah, D&D is way better. Let's see. There might be some beavers and some wrens. Okay, so our party, the Duchy of Skyreach in the Rise of Tiamat campaign with a slight little bit of homebrewing because I've messed a few things up here and there and messed up some leveling. No big deal. Uh, Finished the final council of Waterdeep. Realized that Castle Neartar was still active and running with the cultists and was going to be a thorn in the side of Waterdeep as the armies moved towards the what was it the Well of Dragons, which they're trying to figure out where that's at. Uh, they go to Castle Nertar. They completed the siege. As they were clearing through, they get to the observatory and they see an ancient red dragon in the old town of Phandalin. Like the observatory was staring right at it, and this ancient red dragon smashes their old friend Sildar, I believe his name was, and just drops him on the ground from this tower that they discovered in another homebrew thing. Don't wrap your brain around it. Um, so they raced to the north to Phandalin down the Tribor Pass. They get into Phandalin. They find that everything's honky dory. A bunch of refugees arrived and have been at a little bit of a settlement of peace there. It's seeing good times. It's not seeing the darkness that everywhere else is with the rise of the dragons and the cults. They didn't really, figure that that was just a coincidence. Later on, they start realizing that there might be a bit of a mind link going with some folks. There might be some psionic things happening. They sleuth a bit and they go into the Wave Echo Cave, which ends up being run by this beholder, monster Emmanuel, and an Elder Brain. They smash through there and they get into relative protection into a few vaults that Gundren and Nundro made. They kept fighting for a couple weeks session wise. They cleared the Elder Brain and the Beholder. They leveled up to level 13. In the last session, they made it to where the dwarves were held up for their last stand. They found Gundren, Nundro, and about 10 to 15 other dwarves, and then they worked their way down a few passes and get to Gundren reveals his armory and the things that he's been working on over the past 2 years. The party decided to take a few rests there, uh, cast a few spells. The session ends with Apione embracing her celestial Pact of the Warlock level 2 necklace and reaches her patron, who's in an iron cage in the center of a barren wasteland on another plane. The celestial passes some information about maybe time works differently there. Only just recently did he get her and her brother out of this place called the Avernus through a merchant who he thought was a merchant, which you all know as Paxicor, and he was betrayed after getting the children out. Just picture a nice cozy basket floating down the river Styx, and then things happen in Faerun. Plot stuff. We'll figure that out. And then she unwargs, after 30 minutes of a ritual, and she's like, "Whoa, these things happened." So what I can say is right now you guys are relatively secure. You're in this, very large, about 60 foot by 40 foot tall armory, pikes and various pole arms aligning the walls. There's a few dangling bows and crossbows and things. I could just, for administrative purpose, you're in a +1 room and it is a free store, right? Because you're in a +2 world you're fighting in. But everything you need, for magical usage, it's in here. Gundren's very proud of all of his stuff. In Nundro, very proud of his stuff. Nundro is the one that probably passes a lot of the arcane abilities to things, and Gundren's the, wielding the hammer on the anvil. Uh, Say that, Yep. So you guys are there. This the lights and the candles and the sconces are being relit as the rest of the dwarves are going through and very somberly, recovering their fallen dwarves that may or may not have ran into the intellect devourers and mind flayers, unfortunately. But they're very business oriented. So despite the fact that they lost some friends, they're getting things run. You hear them passing orders about putting security back on the pond or the lake that's in the way back of the cave, where some of the mind flayers escaped when the Elder Brain portaled out. Uh, some Zentarum that you guys have been working with long ago when you established, when PD, the Fallen Rogue, established commerce in the town. The Zentarum are coming in to help pull security as well. They the dwarves are very focused on their craft. It's very clear that the Zentarum are very focused on securing the commerce. So there's a very strange relationship that you wouldn't see normally, but because of the way you guys took back Phandalin in the time, desperate times, desperate measures, lesser of two weevils things, it just happened to work out. Halia, who runs the Zentarum in town, isn't your classic super lethal Zentarum, just a businesswoman who, not a soldier of fortune, but she finds herself in a very fortunate spot to make her way. So the Zentarum are making some gains in here along the side. Whatever happens in the end happens. But so there you go. Hang on, let me check a couple WhatsApp messages. Make sure no one's on any roadblocks. Can you send the Zoom link in Stronghold? It should pop up on anybody's if you just hit the top thing, you copy and paste the link and just post it in anywhere. So it'd be fine. All right. And all right. Okay, so action. There you guys go. You guys are sitting around. You guys are fully rested. You're level 13. You've noticed Asa sitting off to the side. She's, big fight. You guys nearly got TPK'd. She's kind of transitioning from a fighter to a little bit more therapeutic things for the party. And she's starting to play songs that kind of amp you guys up and relieve some stress kind of things. And she's got a wondrous legendary harp that's, you guys are like, that thing? Thanks for playing that thing. It's pretty awesome. Foz, you've been putting on this thick white, called the Great White Death, this dwarven plate transition into full plate. It's got a great helm, and you notice that you don't feel cold at all while inside this deep cave. Henry, I would say you've had some weird dreams during your rest, and you're getting the indication that making that deal with Paxicor, by giving up that holy symbol to Paxicor, may or may not have created a rift with Tyr. Not, the gods are jealous lovers, but I would say you might be rolling at some disadvantage when you're praying for a little while, unless you can really prove that justice is number one. Manu, it's all on you, you know what I mean? Manu's left eye has a scar from the center of his forehead down to his cheek. So where he had the patch, he legitimately needs a patch now. He lost his eye during the disintegration ray from the Beholder. Epione, same thing. You're dealing with whatever existential crisis you have with finding out that you have a brother out there in the universe, and Dan Lantoris is same thing, leveling up. He's learning some new artificer skills and roboting hard. Belgar's been playing, badminton with his Simulacrum wizard, who on the map it's a red wizard, but so imagine he looks exactly like Belgar, but it's almost like made from snow or ice a little bit. So, who am I missing? Laz. We have a Zephyr and a Zesis, so this confuses me now. So Zephyr. Did you level up to 13?
I did, kinda, yeah.
Okay. Just so you know, same thing. You're in this armory with all the +1 weapons and all that sort of stuff as well. But there you guys go. Enough talking on my side.
I'm going to mess with Manu a little bit with his depth perception and hand him a drink and like hold it really close to his face and see how he's doing with his depth perception after reading the dialogue. How you doing, man? How you doing, man? You all right? Nothing new, right? Why, man? I mean, honestly, like, I had given up hope, man. I honestly thought that we were just gonna be gone, and that was the end of it. And I don't know. Like now, I feel really numb. You know. All I know is, yeah. Did you actually see something? Chris, we should talk about that sometime.
I think we need to talk about this now. What do you remember last? Did you?
Not fairly good.
So, are you aware of how we got you back? Yeah, I think so. You were disintegrated, and things were looking bad. I did my best to heal. No dice. Me and the ugly cleric couldn't hold it down, and I had to make a deal with Paxicor. The trade was the amulet of was it Ravenkind. Yeah, I deleted off my sheet. Lost the amulet of Ravenkind in trade for you.
Honor gave up the blade as well.
Yeah, Honor gave up his blade, but it's more important to have you here. And by important,
made a deal
you're my
with the
friend.
devil.
Yeah. Is he a sub-devil or is he like the devil? Or are there many devils? Like Chinese
Do a
have
religion check.
a million hells.
Do a quick religion check based on everything that you've seen.
That's a 20, right?
I think. I don't know. You tell me.
No. Yeah, we'll go with a 20.
Yes, it's a D20. Yeah, that's right. Been a while.
I've got
The first day.
it's a natural 17, but with my wisdom, that's a +9.
So based on what you saw when, Paxicor walked out of the wall, he just kind of appeared when when Connor was just like, Paxicor, fix this. And he kind of arrives in, a very wealthy merchant's uniform. He's got like this fur cloak and, he's got a big thick golden necklace with like some sort of symbol around the necklace or whatnot that you think that he's some sort of consigliere to somebody or high advisor kind of outfit, a little bit of like a cool looking beret on, and then whack, he unleashes these gigantic wings. He got what he needed. Like you can tell he's driven by trade and making things powerful wherever he's at. When you noticed him, you can tell that he is definitely a pit fiend. And they are, you know, in Avernus, in Hell. They're the rulers there. He may not be, the governor of Avernus, but he has an extreme amount of influence from whence he came or from where he came from. Uh, Definitely the type of individual that can be a powerful patron or something like that. So he's like this close to deity level, and that's kind of what drives them. They're always trying. They all start out as like a lemur, which is or a an abyssal chicken, and then they rob enough eggs, and then they work their way up to something else, and and then they grow into where it's at as a fiend. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of foul deeds got him to wherever he's at. Abyssal chickens.
Dig it. So yeah, clearly he's not the devil, but he's very close. Is that tracking right?
Oh yeah, he fireballs for cantrips.
Dig it. Okay. Yeah, we made a deal with the sub devil. But any I guess I don't know, any information that you got or anything that you can say about your experience. I don't know if you had a conversation, a vision. Was it like the light and then poof you're back, or I don't know. I just need to make some sense as the cleric. I gotta atone for making a deal with the devil.
So much like a little bit different. Krista's is more, or Epione's is more of like a radiant style. This one is like dark, dark energy, just shoots against the wall, and it is very unsettling to the holy rollers in the party. But you know, you could you you survived. He's you know what I mean. Like every character has their own agency. The world of the before 5e where alignment was super important. I like having alignments, and I will if anybody wants to ask me what their alignment is based on how you've been playing. Foz is clearly lawful good, right? Like that's he's locked over here in lawful good. You know, Henry's good is neutral goodish. He's over here. He's like a Friar Tuck. In my he's good. He's gonna make it happen, but it's not gonna be by the book. But he knows what good looks like. Uh, Manu good, but he's got a master out there.
He's tainted.
You're muted also, Henry.
Con 14 coming up. It would appear I did not make that. Well, that's lovely. My
It's
friend is
like
now a demon.
it's Frost, but this isn't the good Frost. This is like Malbolgia level, like sixth level of hell kind of Frost. It's not like yay, let's snowball fight. It's like oof, oof. This is bad.
It's not Frozen. It's not Olaf and
Yeah, not Olaf. It's
Me.
Olaf.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm gonna go say some Hail Marys. Glad you're back.
Get demonetized.
Yeah.
Boy. Okay. Well, that's exciting, man.
I'm gonna ask Tom to help me find a book in his wizardry. Help! I made my friend a demon.
I mean, Phandalin itself is a bustling, almost it's a town. It's big. It's not a city by any means, but it's got libraries now. It's got a decent sized chapel. The eclectic. It's based on Timora, but when you've been there before, since they know you guys and you are the patrons of the town, there is a tier scales, and then there's helm things, and there's Lathander stuff, and they've got little all the plate glass windows are you guys. There's like tier on the side. It's very what word am I looking for when the churches are eclectic like that? Anyways, something, yeah, vocabulary.
So
Words.
do we have time to like go into a library and do a little bit of research?
So there's a small library in this cave. Noondro is a wizard himself. He can take you to his. He doesn't have a very grand one. It's more wizarding and things like that, spells and stuff. He's got a few spell books himself. Uh, but the larger library that I would say is like size of a ranch style home is in town. There are a couple other wizards in town. Remember, Gilmore's in town. He's visiting. Sorry, that's a hackneyed steal from Crit Roll, but I kind of like that character and do what I want.
All right.
So perhaps you and Henry want to
Well,
join forces.
how important do we think this is, Henry? Do you think that this warrants a trip to a bigger library and to actually research?
It definitely takes a trip to go see my people, if you will. I got to go to church in the Mace.
Yeah,
I got to go.
probably
I
got
got
to
to
do
do something
something.
about this.
Do something, either a large offering, a ritual. You know what I mean? Or your next big action. Got to have some tier flavor on it. Don't want to be
Yeah.
going into a Tiamat fight like not good with
With my
got a
guy.
bad credit score with tier right now.
Yeah, I got to do something about this. That's. I do know that. Whenever the party's ready and we go into town, definitely want to go seek spiritual counseling from my people, and I need to get right with God, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. My friend the demon, Spawn, welcome.
Well, what do you say, guys? Should we head to town and do a little bit of research?
Well, just I thought there was a dragon sitting outside waiting for us.
Well, let's kill the dragon.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Just a little speed bump between here and town, potentially.
If
Okay.
Mon is like all evil and everything,
Why do I
Sounds
feel
like
like
an
this is a Shaun of this is totally a Shaun of the Dead moment? So here's the plan: get out the cave, kill the dragon, go to town, pray at
Yep.
church, and it'll be lovely.
Have a good time.
Get a pint and wait for this all to blow over.
That's right.
There we go.
All right.
It's
Yeah,
that it
obviously.
does have that feel. Now Connor would say he's there. He's like, yeah. So I just talked to Halia through my flying snake. Everything seems peaceful except for we all have a little bit of a weird hangover, not only from the party, over the past, the winter festival party, but the psychic link broke. So everybody realizes the Drakhorn can now be felt and heard everywhere. So now everybody's a little bit unsettled in town. From everybody being super happy, like this is a oasis in Faerun, to this is not chill. she mentioned that it's overcast with an ashen cloud over the town, and there's like where the snow was, it's becoming darkened by ash.
And just ask Connor to speak to her and ask if anybody has eyes on the dragon at all.
She's like, we haven't, nope, haven't heard. A what? That's what she's like, yeah, no, what? No, no dragon. She's like, but she's obviously concerned. You're like, there's only one kind of dragon that would flip the region like this. So anyway, she engages her cognitive dissonance and she's like, yep, got to get back to work.
Okay, guys. Well, it sounds like for now we might have free passage to town. So, like you said, let's get in there and check it out. But got to be on guard. Let's keep our lookout. You guys need anything else in here while we're here with the forge? Yeah, you are. Anybody else?
Good place. Yeah. Connor's like, it's a good place to leave Hugh if you wanted to get it repaired. Oh, it is. It's just a stick, isn't it? It's just a splinter. Yeah, that's right. He's like, oof. Yeah. Do you have a wish spell? Yeah.
Mending will handle it, I'm sure.
I think so. You guys are preparing to walk outside. The Zentarum Guard are being utilized to secure the dungeon. So they're walking through. There's like 5 of them. They're walking through the places, cleaning things up. You guys, as you're walking towards where the front door is, couple like someone's like with a flat shovel picking up an intellect devourer. They got squished, and they're putting them in a bucket and taking buckets of water and splashing them on the floor. And they definitely, they're tip their hat to you guys as you come up. Like they get that you guys are a big deal, and they're very thankful to you.
It's the post Avengers cleanup team, right?
Yep. Foz, when you go by, you know what I mean? They're like general, kind of thing.
Cool. So, as we're walking, I just want to I'm kind of hanging out with Manu a little bit right now, and because we just kind of went through some shit, and I want to say, what the hell are we doing, man? Like, we couldn't even kill this freaking Illithid and this Elder Brain. We're gonna go up against Tiamat. How are we gonna do this, man? It's a freaking pretty badass dragon, though. Just saying, like, we need to really, if we're going to be doing this, we need to think strategy, man, because that thing worked us over. Absolutely worked us over.
You are talking to the barbarian. Like,
yeah, whose intel just went down.
This is not your empathy guy. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah.
And just kind of look over at him like, something just seems off with you, man. I don't know what's going on, but
upon eavesdropping,
good. All right.
Upon eavesdropping, I'm going to throw in my 2 cents. Yeah, but this one's got like 5 heads. Tia Matt, Tia Dave, Tia Steve. This guy's no joke.
But ching. I'll say this to the party. Says the party. Tiamat is a level 15 fight for a party of, I think, 6 is the average thing. Okay, when we fight Tiamat, I guarantee we're gonna have 12 screens on here, right? So that being said, You're gonna find out soon what the timeline looks like. There is an ability in here to get 14 if you do it right. Right? So it's not gonna be, you know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be free. It's gonna have to be sweaty. Right? If you take the sweaty route, you can gain the experience to get stronger. Which could take us, 3, 4, 5 sessions, whatever it is, but we're having fun. 15 is also out there, depending, you know what I mean? Like, but that's the trick. 15 is gonna really, if you wanted to stall yourself to get that experience, it's gonna be you might miss the fight kind of situation, or you might just make it. So at expectation management wise, 14, it's yellow to green possibility. 15 is yellow to orange to red possibilities of to get done. It would have to be Sketchosaurus Rex. Doable though. Because I think some of the party, like to include Connor, were like, hey, we need to get more allies and things like that. All these things are possible. But you guys are getting to the point, you're very experienced, you know how to get things done. It's got to be zip zap in and out. You guys got teleportation, you got all these things. Just make sure now that we're all, we're in high school now. We were in elementary school and middle school. Now I'll expect us to, you know what I mean, like start planning things a little bit more, because you could with 12 people technically get in the fight with where you're at, but Faz's got a point. Like people will die at this point if you're gonna hit it like this. Hi, Laz. Good to see you. Okay. So you guys are walking along, you get to the gate, the PD door. And you're at, everything was fine, and let's go into town. And you guys are getting this let's see what happens. I mean, not to foreshadow the town that I built for the thing. Never know. We could theater line this. It's been about a full evening.
Put a hand on
You guys went in at dusk, and you know that it's morning on the other side of this. So you guys have been in there about 12-ish hours.
I'm gonna put a hand on Faz's shoulder and say, Faz, why don't we just take a breath and not follow Manu quite so quick? Why don't we roll a little? I'm gonna roll for investigation here. That's a 15 plus. I'm just looking to like take a feel for the area now that we're
So
back.
you're opening up the door, kind of looking out a little bit. You're gonna step out, do ranger or fighter elf things. Okay, you got
Yeah,
a 15.
I wanna like get my, I'm gonna perk up, put my listening ears on and get my eyes going, because I'm just trying to discern, what's changed, what's different, what are we looking for here? So I rolled. Oh, I'll roll it this way. Here, I'll roll to everyone. Really? Thanks a lot for that. I was better off with the real dice right here, baby.
I'm with you, Asa. Like, I'm just feeling something off with Manu. Just keep a really close eye on him, okay? But yeah, I'm not too hot to just fly out of this place. So as we're PDing out the door,
Right.
I'm definitely like my eyes are up and.
Well, maybe you can roll for me, because my I'm not going to use these mechanical rolls anymore, because that was
What was your roll?
well, my hard roll was a 15, but then I digital to 6.
That's
6
fine.
plus.
Yeah, you go out and it does take you back. There is about a 200 square foot circle of just flattened trees that and the embers are still lit. Like they don't go out, but it's staying where it's at. It's almost got like but you can see where, a clearing right in front of the place where, the ancient red dragon landed, thinking it was going to get an opportunity on you guys. And then you guys ran into Wave Echo Cave. But other than that, you're kind of looking out. You don't hear, with what you rolled, you don't hear screaming or anything like that in the far distance. And what'd you get, Foz?
22 perception.
Yeah, so she's a little bit taken back from the embers still being lit, and you kind of focus through that, and you can see from a distance. You guys are a little bit on a elevated. It's elevated to where you're at. You can see the light streams of cooking fires in the distance. The overcast clouds are 600, 700 feet up, but you can still see morning fall
Test, 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 test.
down from where the village is. You can still see the tops of the stronghold. See the stronghold off in the distance on a little knoll on the end of town, and you still see a little banner waving. Doesn't look like signs of an attack, but
Right.
you do
Okay.
notice that the flames they stay lit. They're not like burning everything down, but they don't, like, the wind will knock it out, and then it like lights right back up with the same size. It's just kind of has a magical aura to it.
See any reason for us to just go straight in here? Why don't we let's pick a path that at least we can start to have some cover or have some options as we're heading in. So why don't you put your general's eye to it and help us discern the best course here, and I'll just keep a lookout on the far and my bow at the ready.
Oh, you know what? Epione wants to cast scrying for the dragon.
Is this our first scry in 2 years?
Yeah.
We're doing stuff. This is fantastic. She's like, whoa, I can do a thing. Wait.
Woo! Do your thing, Epione.
So would you say that I am familiar with the dragon?
You saw the dragon when it landed and everybody shitted inside the. Yes,
I need to know if I am familiar with him or I just know him firsthand.
both.
So
You've seen him firsthand with your own eyes. Yep.
I depends. So
Okay. Whatever the higher is.
okay.
There.
So
You don't know his name. Nobody knows its name. You know what I mean? Other than you heard. I don't think I've discussed its
if
name
you
yet.
do a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw? Oh man, I wasn't expecting to bring up stats this soon. I mean, yes, I was going
Give
to.
me
No.
a roll.
Are we good? That happened last time. The other night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on your Twitcher stream or your Twitcher.
Oh, so it's a
On
wisdom
your Witcher
save?
stream, I heard everybody except for
I
Manu.
rolled an 11. Oh, really? Okay. So you're scrying? All right. So where do you want to scry? Where are you? You inside the cave or you outside during this fire? Let's say you're outside.
I'm out.
Okay. The flames of it are gonna help this scry because it's kind of familiar. So you're out there, you kind of take a knee. You're like, I want to be in kind of familiar territory to do this scry. You guys see? Okay. Henry, Epione goes to her knees, kind of puts her head down and puts her hands over these magical embers on the ground. And Henry kind of puts his hand on her back, just with the shield up, and her eyes go white again, as you guys always see. That always bugs me in movies, but anyways, her eyes like roll back. It kind of happens quickly. You don't really see anything at first. You smell some of the embers, and all of a sudden, something with the flame, the heat, you go up into the air again. You know what I mean? Just like with the celestial, it's almost the same thing. It's like a scrying power. You just like you're way up into the ashen cloud, and then you kind of sit in the ashen cloud. It's dark. You can kind of see ash going sideways in the cloud, and you fly forward, and you see the base of your wizard tower that you guys were in long ago. You get to the tower, you see some sort of fiery entities kind of walking around, these fissures on the ground that, they're kind of near, and then woof, you fly over, you see this green area where, it's up in the Sword Mountains or whatnot. It's green, and you see this large, like, magma pond. There's grass kind of around it. There's like trees that are starting to spark from the embers starting to hit it, but there's a large magma pond. Beyond that, you see a massive wing just kind of move, and you see it just kind of just breathing in this area as like the trees like buckle, and its claw is just dangling inside the magma pond. The pond is probably like, 200-300 feet wide. As you see the pond, you see another like fire elemental come out of the pond and just start like, walking around that area. But you kind of see it sitting here. Off to its left, you see its hand move, like dragging something, its claw, and you hear like, and its paw opens, and you see inside of its hand a young red dragon, as it's just like eating a young red dragon. But the ancient red dragon's not paying any attention to you, and it's just kind of peels the arm off another red dragon.
Okay, do I recognize?
As you're sitting there, you see it stand up, drop the take off, and you see it fly over towards the Waterdeep direction.
7.
Not towards you guys, but it takes off.
Is Ryan
It
in
just darts, and then
Oh.
I
you're
can't
back.
see.
Oh, you can't see
Like
who they are.
and your scry is up.
Do I? Would I know what this lava area, like where that would be?
So you have been, that there was building like vineyards and things like that. Remember, you guys were, obviously we were in Italy at the time. Like Sildar was building the vineyard. If you guys remember that, there's you saw the vine rows like off to the side. So this is probably where he was going to put like, it's just a big grass area kind of opening to the tower. So just imagine you're walking over the tower. There's a big like grassy area and some trees, near there. But you're vaguely familiar that that it's within a half a mile maybe of the tower itself. Because right behind him was a pretty large. You could see the mount, like another, a jetting mountain, like where he's just kind of sitting. So it was like the pond, him really close to the pond with some trees behind him, and then from behind there you could see one of the Sword Mountains just kind of jetting up,
Okay, so
or just like a peak. He's in the Sword Mountains. It's like up in a plateau kind of area.
so I'm gonna turn to Henry to like, this area is safer now. The dragon we saw before is far away from here, towards the Sword Mountains.
Well, it overlooks Phandalin. You know that tower overlooks Phandalin. It's what we say back then. It's like 5-6 miles away from Phandalin.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was like a half-day trip.
yeah.
Let's scratch that. So the dragon is. So there's a dragon overwatching this area towards our tower.
Hey, you saw it like right before it was like it perked up and like burst into the opposite direction. Like it went, you could see where you remember where the tower was at that overlooks the Mare of Dead Men long ago. It flew hard into that direction. Like it went over the mountains. Yeah.
I think we should head towards Waterdeep.
Okay. We should probably spin in the town first, real quick, but that makes sense.
What else do we need to accomplish? Here, we talked about Belgar and Henry needed some time. Belgar wanted to do some research. What else needs to get done here? How long I mean, what are our goals here in town, and then we can.
Well, we need to get these people on the train. Basically, we need to get them out of here and have them catch up with the the refugee train. Basically, um, that would be my main mission. 'Cause they're not safe here.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time we were in the town, it all seemed like they're being controlled by something. Isn't that right?
Yeah, we eliminated that threat.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, oh, he's gonna say maybe we should go back and make sure everyone's a sound mind.
Yep.
And we can get that safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Hell Riders, they'll probably be able to help, get them onto the refugee train, and we'll be able to move on our way. But we just got to make sure that everything's moving in the right direction.
Okay. So Belgar wants to do what's it, red dragon research?
Actually, passive clerk.
It was Manu.
Yeah. I want to research Darth Manu a little bit and find out if we have to really be worried about him, or what.
You can always run an insight check.
Okay.
That'll solve that sort of stuff, when you can.
All right. Well, I will do that.
You know
Henry,
why
you need to go pray.
you need another dragon?
You're asking Belgar.
Yeah.
What? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Do you know why a dragon would be eating a younger dragon?
Because he was hungry. let me roll.
Yeah. He's got all these books out right now. He's like, yeah.
Can you-
Okay, so what is that? Insight or investigation?
And I just nat 20'd on inciting Manu. He's like, this is very important to Foz. Like, we're buds.
You're taking a look at him, and this,
Nice. Belgar did too. He did really good.
Manu's alive.
Yeah.
Manu is Manu. Now, you have another warlock in your party. He's got his agency. He's still Manu, the barbarian with some spice. But you're not picking. As you're keeping an eye on him, he's doing everything kind of normal. You're asking a few probing questions here and there, and you kind of feel like he's still on the path. Like there's no embedded BBEG in the party. I'm just gonna say that I'm done with the characters being a bad guy thing. Unless you just want to go rogue on your own, have at it. Yeah, there is no Vampede anymore. There's no we're done with those things. Manu's Manu.
I'm just spicy Manu. Spicy Manu. That's it.
Spicy Manu.
Just making sure, because
Yes.
spicy Manu we can handle, but
And then you were doing I guess you could do a history or a religion check or a survival check on what the dragon was doing. Who's ever got a good, problem could be survival. Why is it eating? Why is a red dragon eating?
Do a good
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll that because you guys are walking towards town, right? These are the things that are kind of happening there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I just did a history check. I got an 18.
Okay. Yeah. So red dragons are extraordinarily competitive with other dragons, especially other red dragons. So if this is an ancient red dragon, it probably made it to where it is by killing other red dragons. It does not like sharing power, and red dragons are the elite of the chromatic. So other than copper dragons, which fight over the mountains, I think copper dragons are the mountain good guys. They don't like copper dragons, and red dragons end up getting in fights with each other once in a while. But with a red dragon, it's gonna eat all dragons. It doesn't respect any other dragons. It doesn't respect dragonborn. It doesn't these things are super jerks.
Kind of like Sadie, right? We have a dog like that.
Hey, Fuwa, can you hear me on this?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
He's talking on the street.
All right, good. Well, that answers
Fixed it.
our question.
Thank you.
We're very glad that Manu is still Manu, because we don't know what we'd do without him. You know, we'd have to figure out some way to.
It would be less spicy.
Yeah.
No.
One other thing that you know that through your history check is if you're starting to see regional effects from this creature, you do know that you're starting to receive regional effects, which probably means it's establishing itself here. That's kind of different. She described a pool, a magma pool. You know, so you take a moment as you're sitting there and you kind of stop and you're like, their layers live in the fire plane. It's clearly got a portal to the its lair is bridged here. The pond could, you know what I mean? Like that could be a back door or something. That's
It
why
could be a
you see
portal,
him hanging
maybe?
out next to it, holding onto the lip of it. They're not fools. He is not going to let you kill him. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing. Like you guys have killed dragons. This thing is ahead of you. That's the weird thing that's getting up in your head. Like it's gonna long game you guys here, or whatever. So gotta be careful.
Am I assuming that Lathander's in the fire plane in that cage?
That was Nirvana. That was not the fire plane. That was the Avernus. Similar, but different. Same. Different. Still same. Okay, the interview. Sorry. Yeah, different place. That one, yeah, was more hell. Fire plane is just fire. Hot.
No, if you guys, we do have plane shift now, just so everyone knows we can travel to different worlds. 8 of us.
Fireplane doesn't sound like a real friendly place to visit.
I don't think we're ready for that. Maybe we should just go
Bring-
down this track.
Marshmallow.
Yeah. Forgot my aspect.
Great.
Henry, are you going to go and you need some time to get right with your God?
Yes, I need to go find Jesus. As soon as it's free and clear, and there's no, I guess, impending. I don't know if this is a perception roll, but no impending immediate threat. I need to go seek counsel from my people.
Yep. So you know where it was like a small hovel of church for the time, or now it's becoming not necessarily a cathedral, but it's definitely got stone walls now. And as I mentioned, when you walked in, as you guys get into the town, you can see it off to the side. It's got, you know, the paned glass windows of, you know, Henry with a shield of Tyr. It's got, you know, a celestial warlock reaching up, you know, with a hand to Lathander. It's got a pane glass window with Faz Gundren, with what is it, Moradin? You know, Moradin. You know, so it's a very what term am I looking for the churches that have like all the churches inside them? Like I forget. It's not agnostic or it goes away. But anyways, it's like it's Timora. It's the goddess of luck, but you know it's kind of expanded to, you know, be more welcoming to everybody, especially since you guys are the ipso facto patrons of the town.
Like a Pantheon?
Something like that, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting stuck on it. I'm moving on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to make my way in there and seek counsel from my fellow
Okay.
types. And Henry's smarter than I am, so he would know the right way to go, right? Do I need to roll for that?
Sister Garielle is in there. You see her, you know, sweeping the front steps of the place, kind of welcoming people in. There isn't a mass per se. Folks go in there, light a candle, do an offering, or do whatever. You know, it's a small room with various deities against the wall, and you can make, you know, whatever offerings that you want to. She sees you. and she looks at you and she's kind of bows to your holiness. You've obviously ascended to a higher level than her clergy and her rank in the clergy. So Sister Gariel is there, I guess, is the important NPCs.
Okay. So yeah. Do you want me to establish like my?
And you remember she's a harper as well, just so you know.
As far as starting a conversation with her, I'd be like, "Hey, Sister Gariel, I need some help, sister."
Yeah, she grabs your hands and she brings it to her mouth for a soft kiss, and she's like, "It's so wonderful having you guys back. I think something terrible went through our minds just recently. I saw nothing but sunny days prior to this, and I woke up this morning, and everything is ashen and dark. I feel something very unsettling." And as she says that, you feel the oh.
Okay. Is there
A dust kind of lifts a little bit, and the cats go feral, and the dogs start barking and stuff, and you know that that's the Drackhorn, but she doesn't. She's just like, can you feel that? She says, what is that?
Yeah, that is. I so again, Henry's smarter than me. Should I break it down for her?
Yeah, and you can be like, I broke it down.
Okay.
If you need to persuade her or do something for her, then that's a thing. Like always, you can always just anecdote it. She'll be like, anecdotally, this is what I said, and she gets it. There's no persuasion roll in this. She's just like, she's got this say what, because they have been the psychic link. It messed with their mind. It made them think that they were in La La Land. Everything was amazing, and now everybody is just trying to cope with whatever just happened this morning. So you get the sense that she's like, okay. She's like, will you pray with me?
Absolutely.
She goes to Tyr, Timora, it doesn't matter, and she's just like, Timora, give us, luck for this upcoming events, and take care of our adventurers as they fight back this apocalypse, kind of deal. And she sits there, and you realize that there are more people coming to church today, and it's not a Sunday. It's not a Rapture Day. I don't know what Faerun has for a Sunday. It's not the great, I don't know what, Alice in Wonderland Day, like Schmoops Day, but people are showing up like looking for any sort of fellowship that they can.
Okay. Yeah.
But you can see this, and go ahead and roll a perception check. Those people are already mowing. Get a life. It's March. It's gonna grow back. He kills all the grass. There's nothing we can do. Sorry, buddy.
We have snow. We're just going to be lucky if we're not shoveling later.
I was just gonna say I was sensing long work for this weekend, and then we got snow.
Well, hon, guess I'll play Dungeons and Dragons.
Let the season of death continue.
So is this a perception, or can I roll insight?
You can roll insight, and let me like coach you why. What should I do? What should I do right now? As a cleric, well, that's what I'm trying to say is like roll to see if you know what you should do right now.
Yeah, and that's a dirty 19.
Okay. Yep, you're gonna flip the mood on this winter festival thing, and folks that are coming in here, you're going to provide your non-denominational things. Yeah, but despite this being non-denominational, you're taking your chance to make sure that I get that you might be Lathander, and you might be here for the Pit Fiend, and you might be here for the great, whatever. Justice needs to be done to these folks, and you're not trying to turn anybody out. you're trying to do the light, you know what I mean? But you're giving it, hey guys, just so you know, my calling is justice, and we're going to fix all of this. This cloud is no good. We're here to make sure that this cloud goes away on our way back down to Waterdeep to rejoin the army. We made this our choice. We love Phandalin. We made this our choice to come here, fix you, then we'll go save the world. And everybody's just like, what? You know, so they're like, the morale is kind of increasing. That makes sense?
Absolutely. It's the very charismatic you know.
Yeah, so they're coming in, and more people are coming in. Like, dude, I gotta go grab my husband. He's pinging, and they go down, and pinging husband comes in, and you kind of explain how to kill a dragon and stuff. They're like, woo! You're like, yeah, there was an elder brain in there. We killed that. We fought a demon. Everything great, guys. We're your guys, Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Everybody else is moving around town. Everybody, I would say, there's still the tent. There's a camp to the north of town still with a big red tent. It's there. Vendors are opened up. They're still selling fruits, but they're dusting off the ash. It's Faerun. You know what I mean? You see some guys. They're a lot of traveling merchants have shown up. So you know what I mean? Like I've been to Baldur's Gate before. You know, I've been to Mount Hot now and done a few things. So or Hope now, whatever it's called. It's not really bugging them. The people of Phandalin, they're a little on edge, but a lot of the refugees there are kind of okay with it. They're a little bit more Bedouin type, I suppose. A lot of people in town walking around, you know, getting coffee after the party last night and stuff like that.
Okay. So, like, you should probably accompany a few people over to the red tent and see what kind of things they provide there. We were keyed in on the fact that they could potentially have some pretty powerful items, maybe, that we could acquire, or so on and so forth.
Okay.
And your powers of persuasion to.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This was the same red tent that cast a spell on a few of us. And what did we do to avoid that this time? Or we dispelled all their bad juju magic?
I don't remember getting a spell cast on me. I remember getting my feet cleaned.
I follow my player's handbook.
But I feel like there was some sort of maybe it just didn't catch us up on it. All right, is there anybody who wants to join me in that? And a few of us will head up to the red tent. Manu?
I mean,
I'll join you up over there too.
if you want me to go, I can. Otherwise, I was gonna go find Ash and go just sit with Ash. And
So I mean, you had some other things to do. Wizard, are you wizarding? Are you doing wizardry things? We're talking about heading up to the red tent to see what they have to offer in the red tent up there again.
Maybe while you're doing that, maybe I will go into the library and try to do some demon research. And because I don't think there's anything that I need in the tent.
But Taurus said he wanted to go with you.
Yeah, right. You can go with Elsa.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'll head that way with you.
And I'm looking. I'm going to meet up with the what's her name, the leader of the Hell Riders, if I can find her.
Oh, right.
On the refugee thing,
Rhea?
I can't remember off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
moon something.
Shit.
Moon Boots. Myra Moon Boots.
Yeah, I think it's Rhea, right? Hang on, I could.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Which reminds me, that just killed the name of another NPC I had because I was like, no, the name's Rhea. Here, Google for that.
Okay, we are heading up to the red tent, and when we get there, gonna roll for some investigation. Actually, on our way there, we'll do a perception check.
One second.
Just a general feel for which way the juju is flowing.
check my notes real quick or something. You know what? I'm just gonna retroactively change the name of somebody, and then we'll just figure it out.
Oh, I want to skills.
We'll figure it out. All right. Okay, so you guys are Lantoris, Epione, and Asa are heading towards the center of the tent encampment.
Mhm.
Heading towards the big red tent. Foz, you're heading where?
I'm asking around to see if anybody's seen Rhea.
Oh yeah, she's over. She's in the inn across from the Drunken Duck.
On the way.
It's the blue house down there. Anyways, the 2-story, 3-story blue one. You could see where their chargers are all in the stables, and there's one charger sitting out front, and there's like a fully armored, you know what I mean, dude out there with the Hell Rider crest on their chest. Also, interestingly enough, as you walk up, you see 2 knights with purple uh, capes.
Like Harper's?
You can roll. Yeah, you can check that out. But no, like I think the Harpers are green. But yeah,
Okay. I'll just roll
they're
into it.
knights. They're knights. They've got like helmets. They're a little bit pointed to the top, and one of them's got a solid like great helm. One's got like a large halberd, and the other one's just got like a sword and shield.
I'll just ask him.
Scott like takes off his helmet, and he's got he's a half orc. He's like tomorrow.
General Foz Grunlin. And who may
he stands up and he's like Sir Adonis of the he's a purple dragon knight. He lets you know, and he's like, I've been instructed to find you. And he immediately he's got this leather tube that's tied up. It looks like there's a message inside of it.
I'll take it. Thank you. Who's this from?
What's his name? General Lan. John. I'm sorry, Sir John. Sir John.
I remember.
There's a French marshal named Jean Lan, and that's who I likened to who that guy is. Whoopsie, Freudian. Anyway, so from Sir Jean.
Okay. And I'll just kind of stand aside and open it up and take a look at it right now.
Yep, unravel it, and the leather opens, and then you can see that there's a piece of parchment inside the leather. As it cracks the little bit of a wax seal or whatnot that you recognize as a Kalimvor. It's like the bones and the scales, and you're like, yep, that's my guy. You could tell it's like written in haste. It's only like 3 or 4 letters. It's like the rear guard is a day out from Waterdeep. We're going to stay there for roughly 3 days to refit, and we're immediately moving towards the Well of Dragons that we know is roughly 3 nights travel from Elturel. Sir John, he's like, make haste. We've timed the armies of Cormyr to meet at the Well of Dragons in exactly 30 days.
Good.
And you're tracking, you're about, mental math. Well, you can do as much insight checks and stuff like that, but there's your counter.
Yep. Got it. Okay, so they are, you said south of.
So when he arrives, when the rear guard arrives, 3 days later, they're going to start pushing, the armies out. The rear guard might be there for a week or so, or, like 3-4 days to rest, while the rest of the armies have refit again and started moving south down through Daggerford. And then, they're like, we're going to Daggerford to meet them in Baldur's Gate, and then we're taking that river all the way, we're along the river to Elturel. We're going to rally at Elturel. He's saying I'll see you in Alterel in about 3 weeks. Basically, is what he. If you don't see me in Waterdeep, he's just basically giving you the timeline of where, as you're reading all this, of where to meet him along the way.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, that's really good intel. Okay, I thank the Dragon Knight and ask him if there's anything else.
He's like, no. Is there anything you need from us? Do you want us to stand by? He's like, we've been handed to your care.
What are your numbers?
3. He's like, I started with 5. Lost 2 to some undead just outside the town, and he describes hobgoblin undead and things like that. So the dudes that you got hit with outside came back. He's like, we cleared them, we got them all, but he describes fighting a fiend as well on the way here. So like, but basically what he's saying is, Faerun is bad.
Yep.
There's nothing regional other than this weird ashen cloud, but Faerun is starting to become just hell.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go inside and speak with Rhea. I'm gonna let him know this. Let me go in and speak with Rhea really quick. Stand by for orders.
Okay, she's sitting down at the table. She's talking to the other, 6 or 7 Hell Riders that are sitting there. She's, just waiting patiently where she's at. She's got like just a cup of some sort of juice there, munching on an apple. She sees you walk in and she stands up. She's like, General.
So, how have things been since we've been gone? Does it seem like everyone is regaining their cognizance and
She's like, so do you understand why? What happened? Everything was great, and then we woke up this morning. This couldn't have just happened.
Yeah, no, we encountered an elder brain in there that seemed to be weaving some kind of control over the town, and that it has since left this plane of existence. So it's to the best of our understanding that it seems like everyone should be under their own control now.
Okay. Yes, she looks very concerned, and she's like, is there anything that you need from us?
Yeah, it really seems like this ancient red dragon, what I'm talking about, is starting to set up essentially is very much rooting itself in this area. This is not a safe place to be for much longer. Like we had talked about before we left, I need you to help get the people of this town out of here, get them on the train, get them on down with the refugee train, and leave us to make sure that this place doesn't get any worse than it already is.
Okay, so you think we should abandon the town?
I don't think this is not a stronghold. If
there's literally a stronghold, but yeah.
We literally have a stronghold, but I'm not sure that.
She goes, "What about the caves?"
An intelligence check or some kind of a check, if I feel like Stronghold is actually a good place to try and house this entire town.
Go ahead and make your own. You can do a perception or insight, whatever you prefer. It's just I think what you're trying to do is just
25. What's the best place for
the dragon? It's a point target thing that can just melt just about any one spot. So putting everybody in one spot is a bad thing, but the caves.
But that's a really good point. It definitely had to turn around once we went into the caves. So maybe that's a better way to go about things.
Just like, we will do our best to get as many of the women and children and things like that into the cave to kind of start. We'll start with the kids today.
Bring resources, there's not a lot in there as far as trying to sustain a community. So make sure that you're thinking this could last for a while.
Okay. She's like, all right, I don't want to panic anybody, but she's like, I'll do my best, sir.
Awesome. And there are purple dragon knights outside. I'd like them to join you in defending the town. So that's going to be the standing order.
Like we met. She's like, yes, we've met. All right, they'll work with us. We're all on the same team here.
Excellent.
All right, so they'll devise some sort of plan to get folks ready. So they're just going to kind of sit down and figure out what's the best way to, without causing panic, getting folks to the cave or whatever. They're really against getting everybody out in the open on a road in a path, and then the old A10 does the road thing, and that's no bueno.
And have you seen my men?
Yeah, the Königsguard, they're in the Stronghold. They've been okay with us going in and out, but they've definitely locked that place down.
Okay, great. That's where I'm going to be heading next. If you want to
Okay.
Scooby-Doo else.
Yep, no problem. Asa, Epione, and Lantoris, you guys are Asa. As you walk up, you're getting kind of near to the tent. Sense of a smell of incense, kind of very, very like really good smelling, spices and things like that, and perfumes. It's just you really want to, but it's not like you walked into a Sears past the perfume counter. You're feeling like this is whatever setup this guy has for selling things, and I'm really drawn to it. You can tell that there are people from Phandalin, despite everything that's going on, they're like lined up outside the tent to go in and take part in whatever resources he has. But you hear various small hand cymbals kind of in various like music being played from inside. You do remember it's like a TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside kind of tent.
Right. Okay. Well,
Outside there are those like leech merchants. You know what I mean? They're outside selling you stuff as you know what I mean, to get you a compulsive buy before you go in. So there's a couple folks like
outside selling magnets for €1.
That's right. There's Purell and all sorts of fingernail clippers and things like that on the outside.
Right. All right. So we've entered, and I just rolled a 25 in investigation because I'm going to try to hone in on, where does it seem to be that the most people are gathering? Where are we? I'm just nosing around to see what's useful to us in there.
Okay, so you walk in and it's the same. It's more like a spa on the inside where folks are kind of sitting down, and there's they appear slavish or indentured in some sort of way, are washing people's feet and things like that. There are a couple, 3 or 4 off rooms, where there might be somebody receiving consultation. There's an off, every once in a while along this tent that's clean, you'll see pieces of it like open and close, and there's a bunch of people just passed out from partying all night. One like opens and closes, and someone walks out with like a trinket or something like that and leaves. And in the center of it, a guy probably like 6'7" with curly mustache and a perfect pencil goatee that comes to a point, and it's got various gems and things like that inside of it. He's got big hooped earrings.
Didn't we meet this guy before? And
he's got the same voice as he did before. He says to you as he turns around. He's like, "Excuse my appearance. I was a little confused early on."
Yeah, I can't remember his what.
It wasn't Tony.
It wasn't Tony.
Oh, Mahadi greets you, as he says, as he he bows.
Lantor, you're familiar with Mahadi, aren't you? Were you here?
I was not here for that. No.
Oh, Goose got a fine pedicure.
Goose got a foot rub.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. He's like, allow me to pleasure your feet or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he wants you to sit down and get foot rub and stuff like that. It's just kind of creepy.
Yeah, he is a little creepy.
For you, of course.
It's like, what does your heart desire? And he kind of, points at one side of the circular tent. It opens, and there are, gems and necklaces and rings. It closes, and he looks off to his, he goes a little bit clockwise, and another tent opens. A piece of the fabric opens, and you see some weapons and arrows and things like that closed, and he kind of looks around, and it's the same thing. It's a pretty decent sized market, and he's kind of imparting onto you that this is the place to go.
Yeah. Well, since we've last met, we've been through some adventures ourselves, and we hear that this is the place to get things that'll help us later. We look for things that make us go.
Go. Okay. All right. He's like, what are your interests specifically?
Star Trek reference, people.
Yes.
No.
That's
Star Wars.
that's a
love
generation reference. That's a really old one.
it. Is Generations considered really old now?
Next
No.
generation, I guess so.
Oh no.
Probably like 25 years ago.
Oh no. No. Diddly. Diddly. Yeah.
We look for things that make us go.
Yes. Okay.
So
But yes, you get the sense that there's a lot here to trade with and to sell with, but it might be pretty expensive.
well, Mahadi, knowing I'm sure you've poked your head outside, or you've heard some whisperings. I see you've managed to keep a good business here, even though there's been a dragon in the midst.
This is not my first dragon. They believe in commerce as well.
Clearly, but we've got a group that is looking to strengthen our hand as we move forward with our goals, and we're wondering what sort of special wares you might have behind curtain number 2 that we could possibly barter, or we could buy from you.
Yes.
Most things are available for a price.
Do you have anything specifically that a red dragon would want?
Do I have? Oh, they're very greedy. But he can't get any of my, you know, uh, what do you call them? His trinkets and whatnot. You can tell that anything that's behind these curtains are on a tape. You can't just like reach in and grab. Um, you get the idea that this place could probably go away in a heartbeat as well.
Name your price. What do you have?
He's like, are you looking to give an offering to this dragon? Is that what you mean? They're very, very greedy. Anything that's shiny and expensive and can give them power. But their greed is beyond any compare. And their thirst for more. I don't know if offering them anything other than your souls or your flesh is going to appease this particular monster. However, I can help.
How?
He's like, would you like potions? Would you like armament? Would you like to just relax? Absolutely. What are your interests?
Well, next time we come through, we're definitely going to relax again, because we appreciated your services last time, and
He kind
Fosgundren's
of looks, and he's like,
feet have never looked so good.
he's like, my store will cross your path.
We'll look forward to it. But in the meanwhile, Lantoris, what sort of things might come in handy for us?
Would you happen to have greater health or greater healing potion?
He's like, yes, I even have a supreme potion.
Spring.
Name your price.
Boop, 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 boop. One sec. Gotta bring it up.
So would you happen to have any trinkets that would protect against fire damage?
Yeah. One second. One second. Oh, where'd my cost thing go?
Your persuasion is, huh?
Yeah. So he's like, our supreme health potions run roughly for you 7,000 gold pieces apiece.
Well, that seems pretty steep. How about I give you
Muted.
50 for 5?
Here she comes. Is it over? Did Nora invite you over?
Let me know if you leave.
Oh, where is my potion cost thing? One second, guys. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Game rules. There we go. Sources.
If you can't find a price, sounds like the right time for a discount.
Or not, or the opposite. Let's see. Oh, come on. This is
Like a
what
sleight of hand discount last.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Say a sleight of hand discount.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I like your Michael Bay lens flare you got going on there.
That's just called my kids dropped and broke my stand-up lamp in my computer room. So now I get the soft glow everywhere.
Yeah, you're very radiant.
Yeah. So 7,000. You roughly know that that's like a 3,000 gold piece discount already.
I'll have to discuss that with our bank.
Okay. And it's 5 for a grader. And that's the rough cost for what is it? The you were looking for fire resistance. Let's see. It's cheaper. I need to keep this up. But that's 500 gold pieces. He's got 3 of those.
Oh,
How long are you gonna be here tomorrow?
I'm always with you. Mahadi's always here. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I didn't have my prices squared away.
Would you happen to
He's
have
willing to
anything?
make you a deal. He wants to be close to you guys.
Would you happen to have anything that might distract a dragon?
What are you thinking?
Or even slow a dragon? Any benefit against a dragon would be helpful to the party.
He's like, other than the fire resistance potions, he's like, that's all I can offer. I don't want to make him angry in case it doesn't work out. Of course. Make sure you pull my labels off.
Of course.
As a matter of fact, we'll put some labels of your competitor. We'll do a little bit of,
Oh,
in your
He's
favor.
pretty stacked. He's got most things. Maybe a few rare things. The supreme healing potions, he came here specifically to offer those to you guys because he knew that you were the ones that needed it. But he's like, I'm willing to bargain with you. He's like, there are specific things that that we could require.
What are you suggesting?
Oh, he's like, I do allow some credit, but my credit comes with a little bit of a cost. Roll an insight check, Asa.
All right, I'll do it with 21.
Yeah, so he's got a Paxicor vibe to him. I mean, he's willing to give up supreme health potions, but you know, he, he's looking. He'll give it anything. You know what I mean? Like for the price of I don't know you, situation. But
Right.
you know that he's not going to go lower than 7,000 gold pieces for that. Where he works, he is a businessman, so he's cutting a deal. But there's probably a weird reason why he's cutting you specifically a deal as well.
Hmm.
You can tell this guy probably has angles,
You know, everybody's got angles.
but it's a lesser of two evils type of environment. So,
Right.
but you've been picking up with that insight that you're definitely starting to notice that there are a lot of like fiendish entities starting to come into your guys' life. Like there's different things. There might be chromatic dragons trying to run stuff, but you're sensing, you know, if at level 10 you guys are, you know, super all-stars, level 15 you're now the Avengers, level 20 you are now lesser deities. You're starting to get into a different tier of geopolitical influence, and you're starting to realize that different planes, now that you get this feeling that just now that Faerun is becoming vulnerable, other planes of existence are starting to hedge their way
Mhm.
uh, into the world.
So Epione, what do we oh, Epione is negotiating with other beings.
What block? Epione's out for a sec.
Epione's out for a sec.
She's got 45 minutes of nap time, anyways. All right, I'll drive Epione.
Okay.
Go ahead
I'll
and
be Epione for a little bit.
So
Manu has
fire potions.
he's like
Just do that.
is Manu with you?
he's in town. He's otherwise, not available. Why are you what are you interested in Manu for?
The money.
Well,
Wait.
any big purchases we're gonna make here, we're gonna, run it by with the rest of our group. But
He's like, if you're looking, he's like, for the same price, I do have special arrow that might become useful in this fight or the next.
would those be dragon slaying arrows, perhaps?
I think you're familiar with these arrows, yes. And he like waves his hand and it opens up and there is a like a weapons rack and there's a white arrow that looks like it's made from bone, but it's very clean with blue feathers kind of at the end and a very shiny sheening point to it. And then there are a couple other arrows underneath that. One's uh uh, like blue and it kind of has a flash of a spark of lightning, and one's got kind of a flash of uh like fire, Hunger Games flame to it. It's blackened and it's got just like a little ash around it as well.
Those are some very nice arrows you have there. How much are you asking for some of those arrows?
He's like 5,000 gold pieces or 4 soul coins.
Well, we definitely are going to be interested in arrows and some of your superior healing potions.
It's like,
Well,
please look around. And he opens things up and there's gems and rings and things like that he shows you, but they're pretty expensive. It's one of those like, what 3 things or 2 things can you come out of here, or a bunch of. You could tell that of Waterdeep, there are. He opens up his potion thing. There's several blue potions. You've seen greater healing potions. There's like 10, and you know that those are in the 1,000 to 5,000 price range. You see a bunch of vials of health potions. Those are closer to like 500. Those are regular health potions.
Well,
Gold
we're
pieces.
going to we're going to meet back with the rest of our group, and we'll come back with our shopping list, because you definitely have many things that we'd be interested in.
He kind of just looks at you. He's like, "Yes, this is, sorry, I'm distracted and doing this at the same time. I'm trying to. I've got my costs all messed up right now. I got to get that stacked up right, but I'll figure it out." Anyways, he's his own merchant, and there's no other greater health potions on the planet, so he can set the costs as he pleases. But he's just like, yes, he hands you some fruit and things like that to leave, and there's a little basin to wash your hands and stuff like that in there, and some perfumes, and he dabbles on your wrists.
We always appreciate your hospitality.
Yeah.
So Tim,
Yes.
Are we at a point where I could do a little bit of research?
Yes, absolutely. You're off. You find in where the mayor's castle is, there's a pretty decent library in there. I would say there's 2 places you could go to. You could go talk to that wizard that was in town, and bring him up there, or if you go into this library yourself, I guess just roll some chance.
Okay, so I'm going to take my simulacrum. I'm going to call him Simon for short.
Okay, that sounds awesome. All right.
And I'm going to bring Tater along as well, and I'm going to have Tater transform into an invisible spider.
Okay.
And as we're walking there, I tell Tater, when we get into the library, I want you to creep around, and I want you to try to find any rooms that have like special documents, something that might not be available to,
you've got the run of the place. You can go into just about subject to the mayor's
necessary
bedroom.
Keep in check.
What?
Yeah. She's just saying, as a spider, he's not moving very quickly, but to break through that.
All right, but
you don't need to. This is your town, so like you can, if you like. I would like to see the best place for a library. They'll take you to it. And there's a decent library there. You see a red cloaked tiefling in this room, kind of perusing through stuff at the same time, and she kind of looks over your shoulders, and you see, Macath the Crimson. She's just kind of biding her time while you guys were gone. She's in there reading as well.
All right. I walk up to her and greet her and introduce her to Simon.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You can see that she's got books open about like psionic damage and psychic links and stuff. She's never letting this happen to her ever again. So you see like a book, and there's a brain, and like.
All right.
Yeah, how to never let that happen again.
Well, I have a bunch.
Muted, Foz.
Oh, okay. No, we're not muted. Foz is muted.
Yeah. Oh, he was talking to someone else off game. My bad.
Okay. So anyhow, I have some very specific questions. Simon here is going to be researching and try to find out as much as he can about demons, specifically one named Passacor, and the connection to Wave Echo Caves. While he's researching that, I have questions about dragons. I want to learn as much as I can about red dragons, the Well of Dragons, and why there's an ancient red dragon that seems to be setting up shop here near the
You
Wave.
have a very valuable resource in a tiefling right next to you that is like a very big like academian when it comes to stuff. So she's from Luskin. She's from the Arcane Brotherhood. In order to advance to her level, like there are some very powerful wizards that run the Arcane Brotherhood, and she's up there. So she's quite the Rhodes Scholar.
Well, maybe she can answer some of the questions. So I asked her, do you know the answer to any of these questions, or do you know where I'd find the
Okay.
resources that
Yeah.
I might get these answers?
Yeah, so go ahead and I'll just I'm a Catholic and she's like Belgar, it's great to see you. She's like I've been going over this psionic link that we just had. I totally knew all about it. And she's just you know she's like how can I help you? What are you looking for? And she's pulling books off and putting them underneath her, grabbing another book and putting it underneath her armpit and like walking over and laying things out and uh, you know, dusting off some ash on stuff. She's like, oh,
Well, what can you tell us about a demon named Passacor, or demons in general?
a fiend named Paxicor. There's a very difference between devils and demons in this realm. Below us, in the first level of hell called the Avernus, there's a great war that's been waging for years called the Blood Wars. Just like the Blood Wars, demons are one level lower. The demons are trying to take over where the devils rule. The devils rule the Avernus. And she's like, I haven't been that far, but I do know that the devils are in command and currently have been winning and are becoming very powerful right now. Devils and demons.
Okay.
Yankees and Red Sox kind of situation.
All right. Well, then what can you tell us about red dragons, and specifically ancient red dragons, and why do we have
She's
one
like,
that
yes, of course. She takes her books about brains. She's like, yes, the matter at hand. We're clearly experiencing regional effects from a very strong red dragon, but which is strange because they're not building many layers of recent. They've been moving to the south, but this is the first time that we've seen one establish itself. It must be very powerful to not be influenced by this rise of Tiamat.
Okay. And what can you tell us of the Well of Dragons? What is it, and where is it?
She's like, oh, I could do some research. I do know that if you follow the dragons, they're being called by the Drakhorn to this. I believe it's closer to the deserts and uh ooh, oh, it's not like I have a fucking map behind me. Excuse my language. Map behind me. It's near the Sunset Mountains, There. Anyway, she's got a large map. She walks up, there's this big tapestry of Faerun, and she points at the Sunset Mountains. She's like, there is a dormant caldera here where dragon activity occurs. And she points at the map. She's like, but we've tried to research this area, but our magic cannot allow us to portal to that location.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank
That's
her.
why she narrowed it down to that place. Like the Arcane Brotherhood is very nosy, and that's probably one of the only spots that they cannot necessarily portal into. There's some pretty strong magic there, which there's probably powerful magic users that are putting up some blockage to, do that Sith thing to keep things clouded.
Okay.
Fans, to be specific.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And I think we are going to be on our way, unless you can think of any other resource nearby that.
She's like, I'll just come with you. So I'll come with you. And she grabs some extra books. She grabs, I don't know, like somebody's guide to red dragons and and fiends and stuff like that, and puts that in her pockets.
Okay. Well then, would you suggest we check out the mayor's library?
Yeah, you guys are in there. That's where you're at. You guys are in this. It's not very big, honestly. Phandalin, like they weren't. It's more into like selling and building the town and things like that. It's not there are a couple books of lore, but honestly, she's the golden ticket to that. It's very fortunate that she's there. She's very, very knowledgeable. You've been out gaining experience as a wizard. She's been in the books almost her careers. Yeah. So between the two of you, pretty solid.
Well, and so she's coming with me for.
She'll just walk with you. She'll come with you.
She's
Yeah,
not
she'll be in
pretty
the library with you wherever you need. She came there to link up with you guys in the first place and find out why things were clouded in Phandalin. The Arcane Brotherhood is helpful-ish. Like they want to expand their knowledge. They're not necessarily completely aligned with what's going on. They want the best for the Arcane Brotherhood.
Okay.
And when new things happen, they want to be National Geographic on the site, getting the first pictures and documenting things. And she was sent down there. She got some weird visions that Manu was in some sort of crisis. It ended up she got elder brained and.
Okay. So should I be rolling like Arcana or investigation or anything?
For what specifically? Just tell me what you want to do.
Well, I'm just wondering if there's anything else that we could stumble across that might potentially be helpful.
I mean, you're kind of going through this. You guys are sitting there talking back and forth. You being a very, experience-based wizard, her being a very, book smart and street smarts, going back and forth. She's always taking notes. You can tell she doesn't let any conversation go to waste, so that the book of Macath the Crimson gets to be put in Candlekeep someday.
Right.
So
Well, then I have
to,
do you think there's anything that I should be investigating that I'm not thinking of?
probably how to rid this place of this. Why is the dragon? Obviously, you guys have come to the conclusion the dragon's stalling you, and this ancient red dragon is going to be a pain in your ass if you try to go around it or do anything like that. It's just going to stall you and do these things. So, this is one of those situations like you're going to have to establish your dominance. She can say that, as you guys kind of sit there and you're going through notes, she's like, I would say by the power of this thing, this is probably the Red Imperator. Like, he's not a great worm, but if he ends up being Tiamat's mate, which if Tiamat even takes a mate, because she doesn't really necessarily need to, but they're very vain creatures, and red dragons are very vain. He's probably doing some sort of I'm establishing dominance in this area and to try to save face. And there's a magic well down there, and he's probably going to subjugate everybody around here and then become some sort of, based on their patterns, he can overlook the Waterdeep, he can overlook Neverwinter. He's probably going to, do some power play amongst the chromatic dragons for this very lucrative region.
All right. Well, I thank her, and I tell Simon and Tater that we need to find the rest of the party and encourage everybody to get ready to pick a fight with a ancient red dragon.
Yeah. Yeah. But she's like, you've got to know that he's going to be cautious, right? He's going to be very cautious, and he probably wants to be the one that kills you guys, right? To prove when Tiamat arrives that he's useful. That's what she kind of imparts to you. And she sits there and she's like, I need to report back to the Arcane Brotherhood as soon as possible. So tonight she's probably gonna leave.
Okay. All right. I thank her and I leave.
I'm gonna see if I can send Slater back to retrieve a bag of gold.
Yeah, just tell me how much you guys need, and then I'll have to go inside the tower and.
Well, we if we want some supreme potions, I mean, we could probably, do some bargaining, see if he'll come down a bit. Sounds like those arrows would come in handy for sure.
There's not much I'm willing to give up. The things I have, I need for my own protection.
Yeah, I'm about fresh out as well.
Yeah, just realize we've got a ton of cash.
Yeah, what are you saving it for?
Yeah.
That's
why I was asking. Like, why are we looking to trade? Like,
within range.
All right, so how many supreme healing potions did he say you had? And he had what, 4 different arrows? Do we want? How much of a shopping spree am I going on, Manu?
I mean, I would say that Foz and I definitely need a supreme. We probably need some graders and whatever arrows you think you need. And if there's a, I don't know, belt of frost giant strength, that'd be sweet.
Don't want much for $1, do you?
No.
Yeah. All the fire resistance potions would be good.
Yeah, that too.
For
Problem
sure.
is out there. Might it not be wise if that person asks for Manu? Could you not just grab him? I mean, could go 6 one way, half dozen the other, but
Yeah, let's just
bring him with.
So I hate to metagame, but I guess one question I would have is anybody in the party lacking something that would allow them to do something as simple as effectively and consistently bypass any resistances the dragon has? So like I'm still like in the learning phase of like 5e and everything, but something as simple as like, hey, my weapon is has too low an enhancement bonus to like even get past this mighty beast scales. Is this an issue for anybody?
So you're asking how to assess weaknesses and strengths and stuff like that of the.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to get too meta on this because I don't want to start getting into like what do characters who don't necessarily know about a dragon of that power would or would not know. More like the very low end of things.
McCaff the Crimson's got the beat on that.
Okay.
Who is with
I'm not trying to get too out of character, just in terms of like, hey, can I even get past this,
All right, so we
most
so
basic instances.
we just need to ask that question to McCaff. So that's stuff that we're allowed that we can know. Do you need us to roll? What do you need?
and you're asking, it's clearly going to be, without saying that, fire damage is not going to hurt a dragon. There's no, if you shoot it with cold, it's not going to do more damage to it. But, if you're going to start swinging and shooting, fireballs and stuff at a red dragon, it's going to be like, neat, like, so, you've got that, but yes, it,
Kind of like the in-game version of a question of like, do I require a +2 weapon or a +3 weapon?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's you'll know that it's just like going to be completely that the fire damage doesn't do much to it at all. But like you can hit it with a wooden rock and it'll do, or like a wooden stick and it'll do wooden stick damage.
So other than feeding it more fire.
I like wooden stick damage. That's the most fun.
Sorry.
Not particular to back heel kicks,
All right.
as long as they have an effect.
Well, we've I think it's time to head up to the tent then and make our purchases.
Yeah, so I'm sending Slater to go grab money.
Okay. To grab money.
To grab money.
Money. Okay.
I'll just I'll tell Slater if you're talking to me through Slater. I was just like, "Where are you?" I'll just come to you. It's going to be easier.
We're in the red tent.
All right.
at the village.
I'll be there in 5 minutes. I've been hanging out with the owl bear, scratching him behind his ears. So I'll head to the tent.
Slater walks out.
Any dex boosting items would be great.
All right. Well,
So Manu's on his way. Elsa.
Elsa. Elsa.
the fear if you're hanging nearby, you can come up and take a peek in the tent too. You know, now everybody's. If we're gonna go up and spend some money,
Well said.
let's find out what everybody wants. Now that we're in the tent, I'm gonna ask about those arrows. I'm specific about those arrows.
Okay.
Um,
So there is, you know, he'll let you know as he walks you, you know, you come back and he's like, "Oh, Lady Asa, it's so wonderful to see you again. Are we ready to make a purchase?" Blah 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 blah. He brings you over and he's just like, you're on the other side of the tent, but you can tell that there's some sort of magic that occurs like this. You get the sense that there's lots of bag of holding situation going on here, and his key card around his, you know what I mean, bracer is the way to reach into this thing.
Right. Door
and
number
you
one.
You know, Acme, you know, dragon slaying arrow, pristine, like right there, and he's like, "This will run you, of course, as I've mentioned, 5,000 gold pieces. That is a wonderful offer to bring down one of these great dragons." It's like the one below it is called a lightning arrow.
A lightning arrow, and there was how many arrows am I looking at? There's the dragon slaying arrow, the lightning arrow.
And the one below it looked like it did fire damage. So I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Super Marvel arrows.
Super fire. Yeah. There's many.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna turn to Manu Moneybags, and say, Manu, these couple arrows here sound like they might be worth it.
I'm just here with the money.
You're just here with money. All right. So that's so we'll just we'll do it. We'll put things on the counter while my friends shop for other things. We're in the market for some healing potions of varying degrees, and anything you have for fire resistance would be most welcome.
There are, as he mentioned, he's got 3 potions of fire resistance. And those, he says, will be, 1,000 gold pieces each. That's a pretty good deal.
They were 500 each before.
Oh, is that what I said? Oh, 500 gold pieces.
How many?
Thanks.
4?
Thanks for keeping me straight. I'm flailing with the cost guide back here, and I'm gonna make it up.
What did you say? There was 4 fire resist pots?
3 fire resistant pots, 500 gold pieces each.
All right.
And the 2 arrows you said were 5,000 apiece?
5,000 apiece. One is a lightning arrow, and it does an extra 1d10 lightning damage
Oh, well, that doesn't seem worth it for 5,000.
on top of its piercing damage. Yeah.
Are we interested in the lightning arrow?
Got the same qualities, so this is a bit homebrewy. It's got the same qualities as like the javelin, where, anyways, as as he's like, "Oh, it's very worth it. Oh, this thing will show back up in your quiver." So you can just sit there and just be like, whack, whack, whack.
Oh, it's reusable.
See.
Okay.
Indefinitely?
That alone justifies the cost.
There we go. So yeah, I mean, I think all Asa wants is those 2 arrows.
Good. So
Since
that's
we'd only need the one. And it
Well,
was
one is the lightning arrow, and then the other one is you said is a dragon slaying arrow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, get both of those.
Yeah, the dragon slaying arrow is obviously 1 arrow 1 time.
and then this other one's got this, it's got a solid, like dark blue, like rod to it, and you can kind of see it just like flash of like lightning go down it, like a flash of electric, like energy goes through this thing.
Christmas and her birthday is 2 arrows. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. So are you giving him 10,000 gold pieces?
10,000?
Well,
Well, we have.
I'm keeping a list.
He's keeping a list, and we're shopping as a group.
So we're up to.
So 1,500 for the 3
Got
fire resistance potions. Oof, damn. You were you just like appeared at the camera. I was like, whoa.
I know. I was a little freaked out for a
This big
second.
on one of the
Jump scare.
yeah.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
Zafir, you said you were interested in the fire resistant, or is there anything else?
I'm not, but I am curious as to if you have any sort of items that would bestow greater agility on a fighting man.
He's like, as he looks, so that's two weapons. He was just like, He's like, I can provide potentially the whereabouts for information. He's like, he's like, as he looks over it, he's just like, I personally don't have any, but I know the whereabouts of something that can give you speed.
Speed, agility, protection, and combat.
He's like, He's like, he looks at the party and he's like, I'd be willing to give up one more magical item to the rest of the party. It's all he's got before he's running out of power, I suppose.
You're always so good to us.
We've only just met. So he brings Zephyr back and he opens up Kurt and he's like, please come with me, as he extends his hands to have a consultation with you. A private discussion.
I follow.
Okay. As he sits down, you see like this like tea set in the middle of the room, and it pours some sort of Faerun tea. It smells very herbal and good, and it kind of slides itself across to you as he sits back. And he's like, I have a very special item that I would love for you to have for a price. He's like, have you ever heard of the boots of haste?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The boots of haste is what he says. The boots
I got you. Sorry.
of
Boots
haste.
of haste.
Yes.
You have my attention.
He's like, I would very much appreciate it if you could rid this creature from this particular realm. He's like, do not be afraid of the lava. The lava is a door.
the floor is lava.
He's
Interesting.
like, when you potentially enter this lair, this creature in its horde collects flasks that can contain great entities. Bring me one of these flasks, and I will give you these boots for 5,000 gold pieces.
An interesting part.
You can see, like, in his eyes
Yeah.
change from, like, there's a bit of a flash of, like, normal eyes, but his eyes have, like, a deep, like, fire on the inside. Like, it's sort of unsettling that he's asking for this deal, but you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
this is something you don't want to really backtrack on.
As I have sworn to poverty, the ultimate answer must come from my comrades,
Of course.
who hold the strings to the party's purse.
Yeah. He's like,
But I would ask you a different question. Should I bring such a flask back? And should it contain the sort of entity that you allude to? Would I have to worry about you unleashing said entity?
Can I do an insight check?
you're not in the room. Yeah, he's by himself. He's sealed off into something, and everybody else is being distracted with different forms of him. Kind of just like a robot form. He's still like Dan or Lantoris. He's giving you, trinkets to like there's something where you can kind of like see farther. Like a device where it could just like kind of just like go down, and you can attach it to your Warforged self.
Just understand my concerns. I see
like, of
these
course.
boots.
It's all
I
your
see
comments.
these boots to defeat a threat to this world. And they would be no use to me.
The boots of haste are one of the most annoying entities to a dungeon master. Boots of haste are very annoying. But yeah, all he wants is to ensure that one of these flasks makes it to him, and it has an entity within it. He's like, I will make sure that I personally don't use this against you, if that's what he's asking. He's like,
I appreciate the legalities, but it's not my well-being that I'm concerned about, so much as the greater good of Pharaoh.
he's like, you have no reason to fear Mahadi.
Very well. I will give you the assurances that I will do my best to procure one of those flasks. If the situation
He's like, if anybody in your party has a flask, you're responsible for it. And you see one of these foreboding contracts,
yeah,
like float to the table with like a quill next to it. And he's like, you would of course have to sign an infernal contract.
Ooh,
Not another deal with the devil.
my friend, I appreciate the assurances that you seek, but it goes against my moral code to sign such an agreement. I would, of course, convey to you my word of honor, but I suspect that to a creature such as yourself, that may not suffice.
That's okay. He's like, of course. You don't have to have these.
All the same, I appreciate the offer.
Okay. That's just so that you don't pull some shenanigans where like, hey, Foz, go get the flask. I don't have it. You know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Of course. Oh no, Foz tripped and he dropped it in the lava. How horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But he walks out.
Yeah.
You guys do the, car dealership thing where you guys are going back and forth on stuff, and
So we return. So we return to the rest.
yeah, you guys are back in the tent, the wider part of the tent, the main room where everybody's, getting their nails, their hair did, and stuff like that.
We need to decide about the potions of supreme healing and greater healing and how many we want of what.
Yep. So it'd be 10,000 for 2 supremes, and the price for the graders we'll say are the greater healing potion. There's 5. They're 1,000 gold pieces each. and the resistance and the regulars are 500 each. There's 10 regular healing potions, 5 greater, 2 supreme that he's got. You guys get the point. You guys are getting, just if you guys speak meta, this is probably the last time, other than the scrounging that you'll get at Waterdeep, whichever is left after a great army with armies of wizards and stuff like that, already just.
The last chance.
It's-
This
it's
is the. Yeah.
When you also do have to may or may not fight an ancient red dragon before the end thing. So this is the spot to grab stuff.
So you're looking at 26,500 gold
You're muted.
pieces.
Skylar.
Oh.
This is Skylar doing math, not Manu. Manu's
Oh,
like,
okay.
this is 5 trinkets. Here you go.
Yeah. Did
Uh,
you get smarter? I thought you got more intelligent. I forgot. Did you
no,
swap?
I'm more charismatic.
Oh, that's
I was like, you're trying to swindle me. No.
Yeah.
Are you
He's
still
everybody, he's
around?
everybody's favorite idiot now.
I'm gonna look at Asa.
I'm looking. I'm gonna look for. Is Henry still around? Do our healers want to weigh in on how many healing potions we want? I mean, how much can we afford of this? We want everything we can get.
I think we're taking all of the healing potions.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, as I've been listening, I can do protection from energy, and that includes flame, but that's a concentration spell.
Well,
Right.
That's gonna knock me out of the whole fight. So,
No, let's get as much healing. If we can afford it, let's just.
So as far as I'm tracking, it's 20,000 for all the healing potions. If I do the math right.
can we do this as a
2
batch?
supremes.
22,000 for the batch of everything.
Okay. Yep. And that's with the 3 resistance.
Everything for 22.
He's got a really nice trunk. You know what I mean? That's got all. It's almost like it was sold exactly for this moment. As it comes out, this trunk has, in the back, 2 silvered, ornate bottles with red energy in it. Right next to it are 3 bottles that look like they have like fire kind of jetting inside of it, and then there's a row of 5, graders with a, and then there's the row of 10 regular health potions, and it looks like you know what I mean? Like I knew you were gonna buy this.
Waiting for us to come and get it.
I'll look at him, hold that for 5 minutes. I walk outside and I reach into my pocket and I go bloop, and a tower pops up. I walk inside and I do some cobbling and pull out a chest myself, and I walk outside the chest walk outside the tower. Bloop, tower's gone, and I walk in with a chest and just 22,000 gold.
You see him just like, you know what I mean? Like just the sight of all that gold, you can tell that's his thing. And he snaps his fingers, and some sort of like Mordkanen's magical mansion type of guy servant like walks up and grabs this thing. Belgar, you are kind of getting the idea that, oh, I'm in a magnificent mansion. I get it. And so you guys. He takes the chest and he puts it behind one of the curtains. The curtain used to have 3 arrows in it. Now it opens, and you know what I mean? Like it's a blank space and closes. And did you spend 10,000 for the arrows as well, the 2 arrows?
That was 22,000 for everything.
Okay.
For everything.
So that arrow is a piercing 1d6 plus a 1d10 afterwards of lightning, and then you get to keep that. But that's other than the boots of haste. Those are the only 3 things that he's offering up in terms of magical items. But only Zephyr knows about those boots.
So Tim, I have a question about the arrow. Does it magically show up in her quiver after she uses it, or
it's much like the javelin, the lightning javelin. Like when she shoots it, it'll like once it impacts, it'll just like reappear back in her quiver.
Wow.
I'll build it in a homebrew thing, and then I'll add it to to her stuff but for all intents and purposes now, when you shoot an arrow, you just roll a die 10 afterwards. It's not +1 or anything back, because your bow is what gives you the magical plus whatever. The
Right.
arrows are always to keep my brain wrapped around this. I was having issues with this, like, oh, I need to buy +1 bolts and +1. The arrow does all the work for you. You could put a log into it and it does the
Got it. Awesome.
Asa,
Wow,
Asa, go ahead. Add those arrows to your equipment. Everything else is in the bag of holding.
Got it.
And he mentions, he's like, it was unfortunate that we were not able to make a deal for the last item. If anybody else is up for consultation, let me know.
I so resent not creating a lawful evil monk.
I mean, you're not going to lose your. I'll tell you this right now. You will not lose your alignment by.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you're now level. You're getting to the point where you're level 15. The folks that you're going to have to work with and stuff like that to get things done. Something here to kill a evil god off the planet. I'm positive. You know what I mean? Like, your deities.
It is by no means like a game mechanic driven thing. It's purely in character. Purely in character.
I like it.
That's all.
Ooh, I almost killed our town. Anyways.
Well, I'm gonna turn to Zafir and say, I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about, but are you sure you don't want to reconsider, or is there something you want to share with the group? Because
of course, we are all free to make our own choices. I will turn to our humble shopkeep. Am I allowed to relay to my friends what we spoke of in there? I don't wish to betray their confidence.
It's important for me that you yourself wear these beautiful boots.
Our friend possesses.
Now that it becomes Nacho Libre, I'm not cut out for these duties,
I like
merchant duties. That
Our
guy.
friend possesses a set of boots that I am assured are as powerful as they are magnificent in appearance, that will bestow their wearer superhuman speed in combat, and will suffer none of the drawbacks that come with similar spells that give such abilities. There's a monetary cost, 5,000 gold pieces. But more importantly, an infernal contract that guarantees that a certain item, a certain flask, holding captive a certain entity, is returned to our friend. Now, I will pass no judgment on anyone who wishes to take such a bargain, but it is not something that I feel comfortable doing spiritually.
So I have a question. If we go and confront this dragon and we wind up with the said flask in our possession, can we come back to you and make the deal without a contract?
Oh, roll a persuasion.
Okay, hang on. Seven.
oof.
Maybe somebody needs to do that.
Honestly, the sport is the contract.
You know,
You get
I
the
offered
feeling
my
that
word on
he's more inspired deep down by making these kind of contracts with stuff and ensuring that there's no games to be played. He's been in the business for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I offered him my word of honor earlier on.
He's like, yes, of course. And your word of honor can easily sign this. It's your soul that you would lie to me. Are you saying that if you lied to me, would that also not be
No, of course
just
not.
bad? So this is just ensuring that you don't lie. You can read it. It's just ensuring that you don't lie.
Yeah,
Your soul would be forfeit is the only weird part.
there's no dishonesty or trickery that I offer you. Just as you said just now that you find sport in the agreement itself,
Well, you know that he does find sport, but
Yeah, right. That it is of the essence to you. To me, it is of the essence that I not make offers that involve my immortal soul. So I take no offense at your offer and offer none in return by giving you my mere word.
it's like very well. You can roll persuasion.
Oh, let's do it. If ever there was a time for a natural 20. Let's see. Persuasion. Persuasion. I only have a +2. If only I were more well spoken. Okay, here we go. Finally, it rolls. Oh my gosh. So I just wanted to be known. Okay, I wanted to be known that the trend of the edge of my iPad screen continues. The 19 rolled over to a 1. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm doomed. He did take offense.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, good sir. He's like, while it's important for you to have these boots, albeit there's no curse or anything attached to that, I would be willing for someone else here to sign your contract for you.
Well, I could make no judgment on anyone that wished to take such a gamble with their soul.
It's like,
I
very
was
well.
against it, but each person in this world is free to make any such decisions they choose.
I mean, I wouldn't say no if they just gave me the boots.
Only he can wear them.
Yeah. Sounds like a sounds like a good deal.
I don't.
For you.
I don't know if this means anything, but I got a +6 persuasion.
Yeah, and, yeah. If you guys are trying to do any deals like this, make sure you're using the face, man. You got Asa over there that's got like +8 to persuasion and stuff.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I would definitely. Asa, now's the time to try swindling.
My friends don't mean to offend. You know, we only have the best interests at heart for the world, and we're just concerned about this entity unleashing something which would, would cause more harm than we're willing to do. Now I'm going to roll persuasion.
Okay.
You know, I hate these digital dice.
They can't be worse. Okay, digital dice. I was going to say your dice cannot be as bad as my iPad screen, but
No, the digital. But you know what? I'm going to give it one more chance on the digital dice. Hold on now. Mumble. There we go. That's a better roll. It's only because we feel so strongly that we wish to do good that we hesitate.
What was the? You can roll advantage.
Well, I
As
got
well.
a 23.
What was it?
23.
Okay. I need to read something really quick.
Okay, you read something.
I need to know this. Rear guard. The hell, Rana? Got it. Okay. How's the camera look? Do we go out of landscape by accident?
We're not doing anything with the map, so
I can fix it. How about that?
there you go.
Okay. Okay. He's like,
It's our normal.
basically you're it's on your honor to bring the flask to him. He's
our
like,
uh-huh.
please pass me your lightning arrow for 1 second. He's like, I need to do something to it really quick.
Okay.
He grabs it and he focuses in on it and he hands it back to you. Uh, he's like, I would hope that you would return this flask to me full with the entity that it came with. As he looks in the room and he's like, and for 10,000 gold pieces, you may have the boots of haste without a contract. But in the future, I hope you can see that we are men of business. Or that, you know what I mean? That he's an entity of business. And if you ever by chance come across his tent, that you would, utilize his stores in the future.
You have been nothing but helpful to us. And as I said, it's just our our noble natures that are sometimes, a hindrance
Okay.
to accomplish other things.
Okay.
10,000?
Yep. So 10,000.
And might I ask what you did to my arrow?
I believe it
But-
became an arrow of Zephyr slaying in the event that we don't return the
It
flag.
will be less than valuable to you.
I understand that we are people of honor. This isn't a lack of willingness.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. It was such an honor to meet you all.
Well, I hope you like your boots, Saphir. Merry Christmas.
My friend, given the lengths to which you went to secure this item, I feel it's only fair that we ensure there's no one else in the party that would want them first.
Oh, they're Cinderella slippers. They're Zephyr's size only at this time.
I see.
Do we have these boots, or we're getting the boots after the flask comes by?
Oh, he's got the boots of haste.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So giving up another 10,000 gold? Is that?
That's what it is. It's worth 10,000 gold. I mean, like, he's got them back in his hand. He's like, or no?
No,
Yeah,
I'm verifying.
Yeah.
He's just reaching into the wild. Manu was distracted for a minute.
No,
Yes, Manu, thank you very
I
much.
was trying to follow. It's like, okay, is this getting the boots after we bring the flask?
No, we're getting the boots now. And Zephyr will be wearing the boots. And
They do require attunement, just so you know. It's got a little tag off to the side. Mahadi's boots of haste.
Included.
Must be attuned by, the person that originally passed to, and then after a single attunement can be passed off to whoever. You know what I mean? You have agency over the boots, but the goal was to,
Yeah, got it.
There was something special for anybody that walked into the room to, but he's out of toys.
I sigh. I look at everybody and I sigh really loud, like, ugh. Walk back outside, pop open the tower, grab a handful of platinum, walk back inside, and
You should see him. He's like, oh, well, I must be going. And he starts like ushering you guys outside. He's like, thank you. And you can start seeing things like poof, 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 poof on the inside. Things are starting to like disappear. The servants are leaving. And like while you're sitting there, the tent just whirls up and disappears. And he's like, must be going. And he's gone. And all of a sudden you hear just screams from inside the town as this huge, massive black shadow just flies overhead. And then as you kind of look up into the ash, you see like a shadow, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And you see like in the dead center of the town just like an explosion as something drops from the sky, and you hear people kind of screaming weird, like where you remember where the well was.
Excellent.
Ash! I take off towards.
You're seeing all sorts of like people running away, and then you start seeing people like run back to whatever it was.
I immediately pop up the tower, put the tower back in, and dart off towards the stables.
Yeah, okay. As you're running up, you see, in the center of the town, people standing around what looks like the body of an adult copper dragon, and it's sitting there, and it's trying to like, and its wing and its flank has a just scarred, molten bite in its side, and it's just laying there, and its head, it can hardly like move, and its legs are just looking just completely like gassed. Like it can hardly move. It fell like, really, really far, and it looks like it's got scratch marks, claw marks on its face.
It must be kind of close to where that happened, since I was heading up towards Stronghold. It did.
Yeah, you were walking up to the old Stronghold. You were
Yeah.
chatting with Iron Flank, and just boom! You saw a massive cloud, and you get it. Your spidey senses go up, and you get the shield up, and you grab Iron Flank. You know what I mean, behind you, or Devu, right? He's with you. Yep, and you get him behind you, and like you get that. This is gonna be bad, and then you felt it go way up in the air, and then something like landed, and behind you you see the smoke kind of, or the dust kind of going up as well.
Do I recognize the copper dragon as the one that we had tasked to, our allies?
Initially with your passive stuff, like that's your passive insight. You're like,
I'm gonna rush in.
you haven't run across many adult, copper dragons, and you're just like, but the next thing that goes through your mind, that was protecting the rear yard. Like
Right.
that's if that's Wrath, then Wrath was protecting the rear yard.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to rush over to the copper dragon and try to talk to it if it's still cognizant.
Okay. Yeah, you run up, and you see its eye kind of looks over at you, and it's just like, what's hungry?
Wrath, what happened?
It's here. I tried getting to you.
Well, you made it. You made it. Good job. What happened to you? What happened?
It ambushed me. It basically lets you know that, as it was doing one last sweep, I made one last sweep to tell you the Barbies were moving. It attacked me near the Sword Mountains.
What did you try?
The red dragon, right? We're talking red dragon here.
It tries to turn its head to look over. Yes, I've never seen its size. In my life, I've never seen a red dragon its size.
You're gonna try to heal it.
Mm.
What did you try?
Can we heal this dragon?
You get that it's probably. Henry can roll an insight check if he wants to on healing an adult dragon. But just for the cinematics of it, it probably would take quite, with regards to the amount of time and stuff like that, like this one. But she seems stable. But yeah, Henry, you're like, yeah, this would take this would take me a couple days worth of healing and repairing, but she's kind of laying there, and you hear from beyond the stronghold like one of the dwarven horns going off. That's some sort of signal that something's happening.
Something other than a dragon falling from the sky.
I look at Asa and I tell her to gather everyone and ready yourselves. It's time.
So without rolling initiative or whatever, you guys start getting this weird feeling. You're looking up and you see, the clouds, ashen clouds, just like tornado and like almost like burst open as this massive red crimson head with large horns behind it just and just blows this huge flame between all of you and the stronghold itself. Just melts a couple houses in front of it, and just you see it just disappear into the clouds.
And I'm gonna run back to where Remy.
Initiative phase yet is what I'm saying.
I'm gonna run back to where Rhea is and tell her to get everybody out now. Get them to the caves.
Rhea just kind of immediately mounts their horses so that they get more authority from the atop of the horses, and they start getting their chargers ready. And she's just, she does one of these things. She's like, I've got their safety. She's just like, hopefully we can make it to the caves fast enough. And she sends about 4 horsemen, straight down to the caves to start clearing the path.
What else do we need? Everybody here?
Yeah, you guys are at the well. I haven't really. We're not quite at the initiative phase, but you guys are kind of getting at the point of what do you plan on doing to,
How close to the owlbear am I?
The owlbear is in the stronghold, and there's pretty decent, like flame wall between you guys and the stronghold.
Do I remember? Does anybody remember if there was any kind of ballista or anything in the stronghold?
Not that you remember. Yeah, no siege weapons, more or less, just defense against siege, kind of.
I had a big crossbow
I haven't
on
gotten to
the.
that point in 2 years. They built the stronghold, but
Now
they're thinking right now. They're like, you know what, ballistas? That's what we need.
Sure.
My first thought is owlbear and Daryl and Daisy, and I run up to the stronghold.
Take a long way.
You can it's not like forever. It's probably 40 to 60 feet of a flame wall. You could get around it. I would say, you're not in initiative base right now. Like, you're not necessarily under attack, but what I would say is, like, whatever you guys are doing, I'm thinking of things. Put it this way, you kind of get the idea, Belgar, that it's using the sky to its advantage, and it could probably and it's overcast, that if you guys are just going to fight out in the open or do whatever, you're in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
We need to get up there. Hole up in the stronghold.
Well, I don't think there's going to be any really super great option with this beast, because even if we were to catch him in his lair, there'd be things that he'd have up his sleeve for his lair that might be equally bad. But yeah, I mean, if he's floating up in the air, that's going to take our barbarians kind of out of gameplay.
How far are we away from? I mean, is the stronghold our best choice for cover? I mean, should we head to the caves? Where should we be going? Us.
I'm sure that he could pick the stronghold apart eventually, but it's a better option than standing out in the open, and it's a better option than the caves because I want to draw his attention away from the townspeople that are going to the caves. So at this point, the only thing I can think of is just to go to the stronghold and go from there.
Oh, and Tim, I'm running straight through the fire.
Okie dokie. All right. Yep.
There's
1 die 10. As you hit it, I'll hit you.
As he starts heading off to the fire, I'm going to grab him by the back of the shell and say, "Dude, this way."
I'm running straight through the fire. I have fire resistance. I'm running straight through the fire.
1 point of fire damage.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not.
You guys just see Manu do barbarian things, and he runs through it. Roll a perception check, Manu, as you cross through the flames.
24.
Okay, you notice it's the flames. Some of them are. You notice that they're moving and look like almost humanoid, and are starting to like the way when it burnt the ground. You notice that there are a couple fissures on the ground, and that like something emerged from the flames.
Like to do a nature check on that? Is it something I would know about?
Yeah, sure. As a bonus act, sure. We are not in initiative phase, but you are about to be soon.
18 plus 4, 22.
Yeah, you see a fire elemental like basically coming out of these out of the ground.
Yay.
Okay. I immediately pull out the as my last thing. It's like just pull out the rod of lordly might and chink chink battle axe.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, why don't we? Okay, let's do a party check. How's everybody's time doing? This is a mild decision-based encounter, I suppose, is what I would say. You guys are not, well, you guys can fight an ancient red dragon if you please, but this would probably be the jump-off point to the next session, depending on where you guys want to go over the next 30 minutes, 30, 45. How's everybody doing?
Tim, I'm really sorry. I have to get stuff ready for Alex's birthday party now.
You can't have the Goose Haste anymore. Those are gone.
I got life stuff I got to do.
Yep.
It's
okay.
If we could right here for me anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
We could do hangar.
Perfect.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
cool tomorrow.
Excellent.
I
So
do it.
like we're ending at the to be continued phase, and I'll say that you guys are all sprinting towards the stronghold.
Yes.
Okay, so basically where you guys start next time are you, let's say you're all consolidating opposite side of the flames, stronghold. Rhea is gathering everybody, sneaking them out. You're focusing the monster on you guys. Monster's there to kill you, you're trying to move away. The stronghold's pretty close to town though, is what I would also say. But okay. Already?
All right. Sounds good.
Fantastic.
So these are boots of speed. correct?
Pace.
Boost of pace. They're not popping up on my app.
We'll find them. Maybe they're
Okay.
boots of speed. Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good.
For walking.
I'll find them now. You'll wake up tomorrow and there'll be something in your inventory. That's what you have.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Something under the tree. Bye.
Have fun, you guys. Take
Thanks.
care.
Well,
Care.
You too.
welcome. See you, dudes. Goodbye. Goodbye, stream.
The only other thing that I'm want everybody to know is I have 2 scrolls of protection from fire elementals in the bag of
snap.
holding. So
Cool.
Alright.
at some point, Belgar and Epione need to get these.
Excellent. Well, we're gonna run into Stronghold and
Okay.
get ready to make our.
Yeah, it's pointless right now because I'm the one that has the bag of holding, and unless we're going to retroactively say, we've divvied this stuff up, but we have 2 scrolls of protection from fire elementals that would be good for you guys.
Okay. Is that just because I already have fire resistance?
No, it's
Great cause different damage.
Does it take time to activate this book?
Cast it.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's you read the scroll, and what it does is it
for the scrolls level plus or the 10 plus the scroll level is the DC. So if it's resistance against fire elemental, maybe a level 5. I don't know. So it'd be like a 15 DC. If you fail it, awesome things happen.
So when you activate it, it creates an invisible barrier that extends from you to form a 5-foot radius, 10-foot high cylinder for 5 minutes. It protects you from fire elementals. It moves with
Belgar. If Belgar's getting one of these scrolls, he can write this sucker straight into a spell book.
Yeah. So I'll give them both. I'll give them both to Belgar, and that way he can write one of them in and use the other one. But yeah, Belgar would probably be the best one for this then. So
okay. So with regards to this, are you guys expecting to make first contact? Are you guys planning on fighting the dragon here at the stronghold itself? This is Tim asking. You know what I mean? Like, you guys planning on leaving the? What map do I need to have built? Anyway, so you guys gonna stay at? You guys gonna fight here?
It would be my choice. I mean, what a.
well, I think we're just getting to the stronghold at this point. We can
We'll update.
decide that.
I got map boards. I've got markers. We can go old school if you guys want to go nuts.
That is Portal at some point, or is Lake of Fire at some point.
Yeah, this is me getting up to the stronghold, looking for the owlbear and Daryl and Daisy, and then coming across fire elementals.
Okay.
And realizing I have the 2
start
scrolls.
our next session, you're gonna do you're gonna roll initiative, fight your way into where you guys are planning on going next, or you're just gonna take this thing on the head. But
Right.
Krista and I are heading to off to go visit her folks, so we'll be back the 4-day, which is the Easter weekend. I know everybody's got lots of plans, but there's 3 or 4 days around there. But anyways,
Nice. Happy turtle.
we'll figure it out.
Fly safe.
What's
We'll
up, buddy?
Well, I was just gonna say to the stream, we'll see everybody in a couple weeks, and then we'll go to.